Welcome back to MCOC AlBundyRules. I got the Angela tutorial after the buff. Gonna show how to use her, what she can do. Very nice buff overall. But before I get into the buff tutorial, I'm gonna go ahead and show you a little bit of highlight reel on what she can do. Speaking of her getting a buff, her buff is she gets a lot of buffs. And there was a lot of buffs before, but a bit difference to them nowadays. We'll show you how to best use her, all the good stuff along the way. But first, showing you this little bit, some of the nice damage, crits, fury she can get. And then going to get started in the tutorial. Keep in mind, for most of this video, I'm using an R1 unduped 6-star. So that will answer your question. Most of the dupe questions, I will use a dupe 4-star at a later part in the video. Indefinite Huntress buff is a big part of what she does. So the buff you get depends on your power. Kind of similar to before. Add under a bar of power, you get an armor up. Add between 1 and 2 bars. Before it hits 2 bars, you get the fury. Between 2 and 3, you get precision. This means control your power based on the buffs you want. Me, personally, I usually like to go for those theories, but I'll talk more about that later on. But look at how those are changing. Also look at on critical hits. 100% chance to duplicate the current indefinite Huntress buff lasts for 15 seconds, maximum of 1, meaning you're seeing them go from 1 to 2. There are times you might see 3, but there's other things causing that. And then we will see the different buffs that come up, and of course after the S3 you get this one coming on up, which allows the aptitude, which allows increased efficiency in the other buffs. So that's a very good one. If you want to focus on a specific buff, get to the top. Like for example, I usually like to focus on Fury, so I'll get to the top of 1, watch my power bar, I'll launch the S1, and then that way within a hit or two, I'm back at S1 again. You can also just do heavies too, which you get increased critical rating, but that can keep you in that area where it's going to give you the buff that benefits you the most. So if there is a buff that will benefit you the most based on the fight or your style, there are ways to try to keep it in that basic area easier so than others. Like I said, just get it to the high. If you want to keep Furies, but you launch the S1, as soon as it hits S1, it's going to be longer till you get back to Fury. Heavy attacks give this extra 2,050 additional critical rating, so you can do some pretty good damage with those heavies. You saw 12,000 on just that second hit, about a 20,000 total. Keep in mind, this is just an R1 6-star. 1 damage health. So she gets these resilience charges, which are amazing, and we're going to see in this fight, it pretty much always stays activated. So every time you lose 10%, you gain a resilience charge. If you don't have regeneration, it converts 1 to regeneration. Keep in mind, it's 10%, so it doesn't matter if you keep healing that same 10%. You keep getting resilience. On this clip right here, you'll see I keep getting those resilience charges. You see they keep converting to regeneration constantly, non-stop, until I get my health all the way up to 100%. I'm going to show another little clip on this in a little bit that will show you in a much larger regeneration, but she's extremely sustainable. She is going, I believe she could probably become one of my favorite champs after this buff, because she does some great damage, doesn't over rely on synergies, doesn't overly rely on awaken, and she also is so sustainable. And so, like I showed you, it's easy. There's nothing you have to do, really, to keep that regeneration going. It just keeps on coming as long as you need health. As long as you have lost a little bit of health, it just keeps on flowing. So it's a very nice little thing right there. Definitely enjoy that feature of her. The special attacks, S1, inflicts 1 armor break debuff. So any special attacks inflict armor based on the buffs. So we'll see in this case 6 just came up because I had 6 buffs active when I did a special, and that's for all specials. The special one, 100% chance to gain a Fury for 5 seconds. If you've already used it, it lasts 20 seconds if it's already been activated. Meaning first time through it's 5 seconds, second time through it's going to be 20 seconds, and I'll talk about kind of a rotation going through to activate everything once. Could be beneficial. So S1 is a great way to kind of keep the Furies going as well, which is something I tend to like. Furies is always a favorite buff of mine because it gets lots of good damage going on. So we'll see this going on through right there. The special 2, this is a 100% chance to gain an armor up buff for 5 seconds. Keep in mind, you also get those armor breaks, some specials, plus you get an armor up buff yourself. And then this lasts for 20 seconds if it's already been activated. Again, 5 seconds first time through, 20 seconds if it's already been activated. So there's a benefit in going through, getting them activated first, and then working from there, especially on fights that are a little bit longer, where she can really shine based on this toolkit and based on her sustainability. Special 3 grants the aptitude buff. I like to get that aptitude buff going. Increases potency of armor, fear, and precision buffs by 60%. First time through, lasts 60 seconds. Aptitude buff lasts 30 seconds if already activated. So the other ones last 20 seconds on the next activation. This goes 30 seconds. And attack rate is increased by 940 for each buff on her during the attack for the special 3 as well. So I like keeping these aptitude buffs up myself, especially second time through when you get a good 30 seconds going on for that. And we see those buffs just flying on up on her. Those precisions just stacking as I'm over 2 bars of power. I like to work my way up to the aptitude. Also, I am running suicide, so I do worry about recoil and S1s and S2s, but as we'll see on here, her sustainability, even with the recoil damage, it recovers it rather easily. I like to do the S3s because I like the ineptitude, but at the same time, I don't have to worry too much about destroying her before I get to it because of her sustainability. Signature ability is the 20, so the more buffs, the better chance to not deal with nullify or auto block. We're going to see as I get these buffs up, MODOK's auto block completely goes away. Additionally, I took some bleed damage here to show you that the more buffs we got, the quicker it goes away as well. Those bleeds go away, go nice and quick. So her staying stacked on buffs is very beneficial. So it's a pretty nice awaken ability. I wouldn't say it dependent on it, but if you got it, she can really shine on fights like this one. Here's her synergies. Her synergies are extremely lackluster, at least the one she has, which is good for me because I hate feeling the need to carry somebody along just for the synergy. So I actually like it like that, but the synergies are nothing impressive. Tips for using her at 1. Tip 1, at start a fight, push all the way to the S3 and then use the S3. And going to push again later too, but that ineptitude is going to get you, it's going to get you all the way cycle through everything, which will mean you can get more increased amount of time on these buffs that come up. As I showed on these buff activations, first time through you get a certain length of time, 5 seconds. Second time through after it's been activated, you get more, you get 20 seconds. Except for the ineptitude, you get 30 seconds. So keep all these different things in mind when we are working through that. So I like to get to that S3 right away. And so the other ones are going to be 20 seconds. Next time through the S3, the aptitude would be 30 seconds for the aptitude next time I get to the S3. So good to work on S3s and also good for those who run suicides because there's actually good benefit for this. So I'm taking some hits on some of these fights a lot to show you these regenerations. When awoke is great. Auto block counter also removes the damage and debuffs quicker. So if you're stuck, have lack of immunity options, things like that, you get those buffs up, you can go ahead and heal from those a lot quicker. Also good for things like suicides with the bleed and poison damage, get the buffs up quicker, and great for the auto block. Tip 3, you can get to the top of the power 1, launch S1 quickly, be back in S1 repeats. So you can keep the Furies stacked, is what I'm saying here. So I like to do it after an S3 because it gets the aptitude going. You get aptitude, you see right there, and then I get to a bar of power. I get it to the top of bar 1, and before I hit the second bar, I hit the S1. So within a hit or two, I'm back at S1, and I keep spamming that way, keep the Furies going. If for a reason I wanted to go to critical, I wouldn't. Critical increase, I wouldn't do that, but generally I like to focus on the Furies more commonly because as we see, she's critting pretty good right there already because I had an S2 go because I had that activated with the aptitude already. And so we'll see as I get close. And even with the recoil, her sustainability, so that regeneration will just keep activating. I don't have to really worry about the recoil damage. I heal from it rather easily, which is something that I really like about her. Anyone who can kind of find workarounds over recoil damage, I automatically like. Tip 4 is take advantage of her insane sustainability. So I showed you a clip with her in Star-Lord. She healed maybe 15, 16, 17%, something like that, in maybe 30, 40 seconds after several resets. This one, I brought her down to the low 50s. I'm going to bring her much up. I'm going to have it on a slightly quicker. I have this at like 1.2 speed just so you can kind of see the clip, but I want you to see how she really heals. Again, why take advantage of this. I mean, perfect for questing, perfect for long fights, perfect for a lot of stuff. Great damage, and she can just clear lanes like nobody's business with this ability right here. So heavily recommend using her. I really like this buff. This is definitely someone I'm going to use quite a bit. I've definitely got her on my R2 list. Even on Awoke, I will be bringing her up to R2 in the very near future. And look at how good this is going forward. And just rotating through those buffs. And if you got a certain thing you like, you can go from there. But in the meantime, just look at this regeneration. You see how she's already healed a good 20% or so from when I took that special to the head. So you can make mistakes. You can take recoil damage. You can launch specials. You can take block damage. It doesn't matter too much because of the fact you got this. The other fight I showed on the regeneration was against an LOL fight which has pretty strong attack, the Star-Lord, and I was taking block damage and other stuff, and I still healed perfectly fine. So you will see how this is a very effective, nice little kit right here. Well, that is wrapping up the tutorial. I'm hoping you enjoyed this. Keep in mind, I've also already got buff tutorials up of two of the other buff champs already too, to include both ones I really liked. And so be sure to check out my other tutorials, including the other ones buffed, if you're curious on that. Don't forget to click that subscribe button on the top left if you have not already subscribed. Be sure to give a like, share the videos. Thanks so much for watching MCOC, AlBundyRules.